on air. It's Maria from the Fox 7 newsroom here in Los Angeles. I have the beautiful Guiliana Rancic.
Hi, guys.
We all know her from E! And, of course, Juliana and Bill on the Style Network.
Yes,
we
yes.
love you guys. I'm kind of missing your other half, too. I love
I know. It's so sad. You know, we were actually, because we have a new episode tonight,
Uh-huh.
so he and I were doing, like, all these radio interviews this morning, like, really early, and it was hard because he's in New York, and I'm in L.A., and so everyone's like, are you guys ever together? You know?
Well, I think you did end up, like, leaving Chicago. Anyway, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that in a second. But let me introduce you to everybody in the Hangout, okay? Because I know they're dying to say hi. This is Troy.
Hey, Troy.
Troy is hanging out from up near Cape Cod, near in Massachusetts, anyway. Born Massachusetts. I think I have that right. This is Renzo. He's hanging out in Venezuela.
Oh,
Hi,
Renzo.
Guiliana. Big
Yeah.
fan.
Thank you, Renzo. Thank you.
This is Lord Parker.
Hi, Lord.
He's hanging out from the UK.
Oh, nice.
And Laurent is in Paris.
Hi, Laurent.
And Justin is in the UK as well.
Hey, Justin.
Jeff
Hi.
is up in the San Francisco area, the Bay Area.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey.
Jason is right outside of D.C. in Alexandria.
Oh, yeah, I know Alexandra. Hey,
Yeah.
Jason.
Good morning.
Jane is in Nashville. I got that right.
Hey, Jane.
Hi.
Now, you have about 90% men, I noticed.
Yes. Don't
Yeah.
It's like we're
With-
in Alaska.
Men with bad hair, so yeah.
Already had. I know Laurent's like, speak for yourself, Jeff. You've got them. Anyway, listen, first of all, like I said, Bill is usually here with you. We love him too. And so he's in New York and you're here, but you guys now live in LA together.
We
now,
do.
right?
We do live in LA together. We were going back and forth between Chicago and LA. So now, thankfully, we're living in LA together, which is good.
And now you see each other less. No.
I know. It's crazy. But, you know, it's so funny because people tell us all the time because we travel so much for work. Because Bill, he's on the speaking circuit, the lecture circuit. So he goes around and gives speeches to corporations. And also he does a lot of real estate. So he travels a lot. And people, like young people will say to us, it must be so hard. But older people are always like, well, that's the secret to a good marriage,
That's
you
what
know,
everyone
like
says.
stay apart as much as possible. But we prefer to be together.
I'm sure.
We do.
You two are so sweet together. How are you, by the way, first of all? How's everything?
I'm good.
You feel
Everything's
good?
good. I feel great. Everything's good. Yeah.
Good,
promise.
good. Okay, good. Listen, let's open it up to the Hangout and get some questions from everyone. Jane, do you have a first question?
I'm just going to say, hey, Sudesh. Coming in.
Sudesh is in the house. Sudesh is from India.
Hi,
He just
Sudesh.
popped in. A delay.
I guess not so much a question because I've done some what you have gone through as well, but dealing with infertility and doctors and things like that, what do you tell other people who are pursuing it?
You know, it's not easy.
I know what it's like to, it's, you really have to put yourself out there with your physicians, and sometimes it's a little demeaning. It's a lot demeaning.
It's hard.
And
No,
you're
I
doing
know what you
and
mean.
you're doing it on a show. I mean, not only,
Yeah.
you know, for normal people where it's just their inner circle, but you're talking about it publicly.
Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, cameras will come to appointments with us, and it's an appointment you don't even want to be at to begin with. And now there's a camera, you know, and you know that millions of you are going to see this. But, you know, it's hard. I mean, I think the most important thing that I've learned through this whole journey as far as, like, doctors are concerned is you've got to get more opinions. I mean, if I had listened to what the first doctor told me after my mastectomy about what treatment I needed, I mean, I would be getting some really aggressive treatment right now. And then it wasn't until I went and met with other doctors who explained to me, no, that's a little aggressive. I think all you need is this. And so it's amazing. Like, you think, you know, we put so much faith in our doctor.
Yeah.
And we think, God, this guy knows everything. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a business. You know, you really think, like, a doctor is like a lawyer, is like what we do. I mean, they're operating a business, and you just really have to stay on top of it and go get second, third opinions. I mean, we ended up getting about 4 opinions.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
You
So.
go with the consensus. I
Yeah,
suppose.
so get as many opinions as possible, that's for sure. And also, it sucks. I mean, sometimes you're in there, especially I thought more with IVF. I mean, you feel like you're a piece of meat half the time. You know what I mean?
No,
'Cause
I
it's
know
like
how you feel.
scans and ultrasounds. It's just awful. And there's all these women in the waiting room. I mean, you just feel like you're part of this, like, you know, you're like cattle, you know. But in that situation, you just have to, like, look at the big picture and realize why you're there and what the main goal is. And just know that everyone is going through this. And you can find comfort in knowing that all these women are going through it.
And you're not, exactly, you're not alone. That's what I like about your story, that it sort of resonated with me too, because I know my husband and I kind of went through some similar things as far as infertility. Anyway, and I appreciate is that you understood. Yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Okay, you guys, who's got the next question?
Well, I'll jump in there.
They're so shy today.
Yeah,
They're so shy.
I'll do a quick one.
Justin?
So when you're in the
okay.
So when you're in the waiting room,
you're muted. Okay, listen. So tell me about the new season. This is season 5, right?
Yeah, this is season 5. So we're on Tuesday nights, and this season definitely started out a little heavier because it's the cancer diagnosis was episode 1 and how we were dealing with it in episode 2. But tonight, really, the tide turns a bit, and we start injecting humor into everything.
Injecting humor.
Yeah, we inject humor
into everything. Because you're tired of injecting everything else.
That's true. That's a good way to look at it. So, you got to laugh. People were always like, how'd you go back to work? Or how do you have a positive attitude? Because the alternative is to be miserable and to be in bed all day crying. So I'd rather just kind of move on with my life. And when I have a doctor's appointment or something's keeping me down, then I'll go down. You know what I mean? Then I'll relax. But in the meantime, if you feel good, why not?
I know, I watch you, and you have this great spirit. Like, how do you keep that going? Because you travel, and it's not like you're just going to a regular job. You know what I mean? You're talking, you have to be happy. And so how do you do it?
It's tough a lot of the time, It's tough. I mean, even hosted a big charity event, and it was hard because a lot of women were coming up to me who'd been through what I went through, and it was emotional. So I kind of step away and go to the bathroom, and just kind of take a deep breath, have a moment. So it's definitely hard, But I focus on the positive, as horrible as what I'm going through is, I look at the fact that I have a great husband, I have a great family. You can try to find the positive in everything. That's what I try to do.
You're such an inspiration. Okay, Jason, go ahead. What's your question?
All right, I'm going to take it completely, just lighten the mood a little bit. Can you guys hear me?
Okay.
Can you guys? Okay, I'm going to lighten the mood a little bit. I was just wondering, who was your favorite celebrity to interview? And also if there's one celebrity that you would like to interview in the future.
My favorite celebrity to interview ever is George Clooney. He's
I wonder why.
But Maria, have you met him?
I've not met him personally, but I hear that he's just so sweet.
He's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's Jane's boyfriend.
He's your boyfriend, Jane?
Yes.
I look like him, so.
Congratulations.
You're now my second boyfriend.
Thank you very much.
I can see that. So he's a total sweetheart. And it's funny, I pretty much interviewed everyone, and the one person I've never interviewed is Madonna.
Is that
right? I know, and it's just a fluke.
Because you have interviewed, I think, everyone.
I know, and even last week there was an interview with Madonna that E! News did in New York, but I was in L.A. So it never works out, and she was my childhood idol, and so I was Madonna 3 Halloweens in a row. So
she'll want to hear that.
She will. She'll probably get flattered by that. Have you always wanted to do what you do? I mean, did you know when you were young that you wanted to do this?
I did. It's funny. I tell a story of when I was in 3rd grade, I just moved to America, and from Italy. I'm from Italy, and I barely spoke the language, and I would watch the news all the time.
That's amazing.
And I thought the women were like so gorgeous on the news. I would watch I remember my local news, I think it was NBC in DC, and I would just watch this woman, Barbara Harrison, and I was like, that is like the coolest job in the world. And so I remember when they asked us in class to draw a picture of what we want to be, and I drew an anchor woman, and my teacher was like, you have to speak English to be an anchor woman. I was like, oh, I'm going to learn, And so it was always what I wanted to do, always, all through high school, everything.
And I've heard you speak Italian. It's so sexy. It's just amazing. Maybe we'll get you to say some stuff before you go in Italian. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, well, that leads me on quite neatly to my question, actually. You're talking about the Italian accent. It said in your bio that you taught yourself English by watching daytime soaps and television shows. And I was quite intrigued by that.
I did. I was thrown in the public school system at about 7 years old, 7 or 8. And no one paid any attention to me. I was in Washington, D.C. None of the teachers spoke Italian. So they would speak to me in Spanish, and I would understand a little bit.
Well, it's similar, yeah.
It's similar, but, I mean, it was tough. And so every day after school, I would go home, and I would just watch TV, and I would watch, you know, General Hospital. I remember this. Soap operas and the local news at 5 o'clock, and I would watch some Sesame Street. And I learned English faster than my brother and sister, who were older than me in the public school system, and actually being attended to, but because I was kind of young and I was,
because
they
you had
just
that
didn't know what to
sponge of
do.
a brain, you know.
So I just kind of soaked it up, and and I learned English before they did. Isn't that crazy?
I think that's amazing. Okay, I have time for one last question, or Guiliana has one time. Renzo, did you have a question?
I do.
Renzo.
Hey, Guiliana. You know, you're my favorite correspondent. You know, like in the red carpets. You know, like you do a really amazing job. Like you're really professional. And also, I'm following you on the Fashion Police program, you know, with John Rivers.
Yes.
And like you guys are doing a really great job. It's really, really funny to watch. And my question is, how is it like working with John Rivers? And if Kelly, George, and John are your BFFs?
They're my best fashion friends. You know what? Yeah, it's so much fun doing that show. We tape it every Thursday morning, like at 6 in the morning, and we all come in kind of grumpy. It's early, but by the time we leave, our cheeks hurt because we're laughing so hard. But Joan is incredible. But I'll tell you, you know, Joan has been doing this for, 50 years, 60 years, been in the business. And she's more professional than anyone you've ever met, in the sense that she's at a time in her life when she could just phone it in, you know, where she could just show up, what do you want me to do, and get out. She comes an hour before all of us, prepares, looks at all her jokes, thinks about what she's going to say. She's so professional, and she really teaches me a lot.
I know, she was here a few weeks ago, and she's an inspiration. And
she's amazing.
As are you, my love. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, I think you have to go.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you.
So good seeing you.
Thank you for hanging out.
Bye, guys.
Picture time.
Bye, Guiliana.